This video is for lesson 1.2, words and expressions. Which of the following is an example of a numeric expression? If you said D, you would be correct. A numeric expression is a combination of numbers, operations, grouping symbols, and no equal signs and no variables. When we have so many different operations in one problem, how do we know where to begin? We use what are called the order of operations. You might know this as PEMDAS. We must follow these orders so that we all get the same answer. Parentheses begin first. When you're inside the parentheses, you will continue to follow the order of operations until there's nothing left to do inside of the parentheses. We will do exponents first, then multiply or divide as it appears in the problem from left to right, and then finally add or subtract as it appears in the problem from left to right. Let's try some examples. Here we have a set of parentheses, so we will begin there. Inside our parentheses, we have multiplication and exponents. We are going to do our exponents first. We're going to first bring down everything that we haven't used yet, and we're going to change our 4 to the second power, which is 4 times itself twice, to 16. And then don't forget to bring down that plus 7 at the end. We are still working in our parentheses because we still have an operation to do there, so we are going to now multiply 2 times 16, which is 32. At this point, since I am finished with what's inside the parentheses, I can get rid of them. And then lastly, we have 34 minus 32 plus 7. It can be tempting to do the addition first because if you say PEMDAS in your head, the A comes before the S. But we need to remember for multiplication and division and addition and subtraction, we do it in the order that it appears in the problem. So here that would be subtraction first, followed by addition last for an answer of 9. Here is another problem. We have 2 sets of parentheses here. We have these parentheses, and then we also have these brackets, which act the same way as parentheses. In fact, if you don't like them, you can draw them as parentheses. It's okay to have double sets of parentheses. You can put as many parentheses as needed in a problem. We always start with the parentheses farthest inside first. So that is going to be the 7 minus 5, which is 2. Don't forget to attach that exponent of 2. Now I have addition, I have exponents, and I have division. I'm going to do my exponent next. I'm still working inside of these brackets. I'm going to need to divide now before I add. Now I will add 11 plus 1. And we need to recall that when there's nothing in between a number and a bracket or a parenthesis, whichever way you draw it, that changes to multiplication. So 5 times 12, which is an answer of 60. Take a moment to pause and try these on your own. If you did not get them right, try them again or see me for help. Our third example is a little different. We have a fraction in here, which is also division. So we need to keep that in mind. All right, we are going to start in our parentheses, and in our parentheses, we're going to start with exponents. So 3 to the third power, remember that's 3 times. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So that is what we get there. Now technically this is division, and division usually comes before subtraction. However, here we cannot divide until we subtract, so sometimes our rules get broken just a little bit in certain circumstances. So we're going to subtract, and then we're still working in those parentheses. Notice I did not touch anything else out here. A lot of times people view this as a separate problem, and they want to do 6 plus 3 right at the beginning and make that a 9. Please resist from doing that. That is not a separate problem. Remember, 3 with this parentheses here, this is a multiplication sign. Okay, we don't see it there. If it helps you to squeeze it in there to stop yourself from trying to do this addition first, please do that. We don't want to do that addition first. In fact, it's going to be very last. As we can see, now that I've simplified this down to one number, this multiplication has to come first before I add the 6 on. So the very last thing that I would do is add that 6. That's not the first thing I do. So be very careful with that. That's a common mistake. Now we want to look at what to do when we have a variable that is in our problem, because we said this is not a numeric expression at all. This is what we call an algebraic expression, which we haven't discussed yet. So we need to turn this algebraic expression into a numeric expression by replacing the x and the y with 2 and 3. So when we do that, we're going to rewrite it. Instead of x, we're going to put a 2 there. We're going to bring down the 5 because that was there. Now this is 5 times y to the second power. So that's 5 times 3 to the second power minus x, which is 2 to the fourth power. So we need to be very careful. We need to remember that when we see a number next to a letter with nothing in between, that is multiplication. We're going to follow the order of operations, which means we will do the parentheses first, and inside those parentheses, we need to do the exponents first. You should not multiply 5 times 3 first. We are going to do our exponents first. And it's actually okay if we do those two exponents simultaneously because they are separate from one another. So 3 to the second power, that's 3 times 3, which is 9. And then 2 to the fourth power is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 times 2, which is 8. And then lastly, 8 times 2, which is 16. Make sure you're not doing 2 times 4, because that's different than 2 4 times. Now we will multiply 5 times 9 to get 45. And then we will subtract 45 minus 16 to get 29, recalling that when we have a number next to those parentheses there, that's multiplication. And then 29 times 2, which is an answer of 58. Go ahead and give this one a try on your own. And if you did not get 5, try again or see me for help.